Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Geek Nostalgia Podcast. Want to say welcome back. We are starting season 2. This is very exciting. Dave, how you been?
Been doing pretty good. Getting ready for season 2 here. Been a busy time.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. TMNT 2. That came back to the theaters. We watched that just like we watched the first one in theaters. That was a lot of fun. Positive vibes. Not so positive vibes. We lost a legend, Dave.
Lost a legend, if you could call him that. I mean, who else has joke books?
As soon as you started going down that road, I'm already filled with regret right now, Dave, because we should have brought like 5 or 10 of them. As a matter of fact, maybe we should commit this season to having at least one Chuck joke per episode in memory, because God knows there's 50 of them to choose from.
Oh, there's more than that. I have a book of 400, but there's also
Holy crap.
several other books that have more in them.
Okay. Can you remember one off the top of your head? Because if not, I can.
Go ahead.
When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he's not pushing himself up. He's pushing the world away.
They're coming out with ones because what recently happened. He's given Grim Reaper a break. So where he died years ago, it just didn't catch up until now.
That's awesome. I haven't heard that one. But I also haven't been keeping up with the Chuck Norris jokes, but they're always golden.
Yeah, but like I was saying, because you have all these sayings about somebody, that makes him kind of next level above a legend.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would agree. And I'm just going to ask you straightforward, what made Chuck Norris special to you? Or what made him stand out? I know for me personally, he was an action star, right? We've had a lot of action stars in Hollywood. He was an action star who very intentionally kept his nose clean outside of work. Like you see a lot of people in Hollywood, TV, movies, even in sports, right? They get a little bit of fame, a little bit of success, and all of a sudden you start hearing about what a terrible person they are, or the terrible decisions they make with their money, or, 15 marriages and divorces. And you didn't hear nothing like that with Chuck. He showed up to work, did his job extraordinarily well. And he's probably one of the few action stars where you can say with confidence, that's a role model.
Yeah, for the most part. The only thing I can think of is he did have a child from somebody else when he was married. But that was his early years. Like he wasn't even a movie star then. I don't even think he was martial arts champion.
Oh, so we're talking like pre him getting into kickboxing and all that stuff.
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that long ago. But yeah, as far as keeping clean and everything, makes him an inspiration. The fact that he was big in Christianity.
Openly.
Yeah, and he was the kind of guy in his movies, he would always win. He'd kill the bad guy, but it'd be like clean.
Yeah.
And not cussing all the time.
Right.
Like he was wholesome.
I would agree. And there's probably a lot of people listening to this, especially people around our age, Dave, that see the name and think about Walker, Texas Ranger, because I don't know what the run was. That was like a decade. It was a long run.
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Pretty long run. And the episodes were there. They got syndicated. They were all over the place. And definitely one of those shows you can just kind of tune into and just relax and have a good time. So that's one of the things I appreciated him for.
Well, and each episode, if you remember, had a message.
That's true. That is very true. And I'd have to look to see if he had any producer credits on that show or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because you're right. There was some very intentional messaging with that particular show. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had input on that, Yeah. Now, is there any of his properties, any of the things he did that really resonates with you?
Probably the first thing I can remember watching him in is a movie called Code of Silence.
Tell me about it.
He's a detective. He goes up against it's like a mafia type.
Okay.
Good soundtrack on it, but one of those older movies. If you've ever seen it, like at the end of the movie, the police have this attack robot, like tank thing. It's controlled by a remote control. At the end of the movie, he steals that and uses it to help him take out the bad guys.
Oh, okay.
And it's in a warehouse. Ring any bells?
It doesn't. And by the way, for the listening audience, I was very transparent with Dave off mic while we're setting up There's a lot of Chuck Norris films I haven't watched, so I'm going to make that my mission to get some of those older films that I haven't sat down for and make it a point to do that. But that one does not ring a bell.
That's pretty good one. That's one of my favorites.
Nice.
But that one, and then he went through stages, like An Eye for an Eye, The Octagon, clean shaven.
Mm-hmm.
Even Good Guys Wear Black. No, I think he had a mustache in that one. And then the next round of movies, he had the mustache. Silent Rage.
Yep.
One of them. And then he gets the beard, like around Delta Force, Lone Wolf McQuade era. And then he keeps that look until recently. You know, he was all shaved off again.
Yeah, I think even in when his appearances in the Expendables, he was starting to shorten the beard down quite a bit, get a little more clean cut.
Yeah.
Yes, granted, I am a fan of a lot of his solo action flicks. I have Lone Wolf McQuade wrote down here, Firewalker. You mentioned the one with the bad guy who wouldn't die. He kicked him down the well.
Yeah, Silent Rage. I've referenced that before, I believe. Yeah. It's like the Halloween, but Chuck Norris is the good guy. And
cinematically speaking, the one thing with Chuck Norris that will always stick with me is actually sidekicks. Now, if you think about anybody who loves movies, right? If you ask that person, they're going to have certain genres that really stand out to them, right? And in those genres, there's going to be those sort of foundational flicks that really set them up for a lifelong journey of enjoying that type of movie, right? For traditional action flicks, that was Stallone's Cobra and Schwarzenegger's Commando for me. That was my foundation for action flicks. Do we have a term for the American trend for karate flicks? Is there one?
I don't. Just martial art films that.
Okay, well, you get the wave. You get the wave, right? Like, obviously, early on, you had Bloodsport, some of those things, but talking about 90s when we were young kids, that was sidekicks for me because you're talking about a nerdy kid who got bullied. Granted, there's a lot of tropes. It's a lot of tropes, right? Kind of the nerdy kid, asthma, got bullied. He trained to fight his bullies, and then at the end, he's in a martial arts tournament, and guess who's his tag team partner? The person he's been having like these vivid daydreams about all throughout the movie, and him and Chuck fighting the bad guys, which when I was a kid, I was a daydreamer. There, especially in elementary school, like I'd get into some where a teacher would almost have to yell in my face to break me out of it, like in my own world. So that movie really resonated with me. Plus, I loved all the side characters, supporting characters in that movie. But that's the one. That's the one that I showed Maya. That's the one that I make it a point to watch every 4 or 5 years, at least. Maybe more often than that, because it's huge nostalgia bait for me.
Yeah, and I like the fact that a lot of the scenarios brings Chuck back to his older roles.
It did, didn't it?
That he did. And you know, that's one of 3 Chuck Norris movies that's in 4K.
Oh, there's not that many, huh? I didn't know that.
And that one's actually, Sidekicks is they did a really nice set for that from Vinegar Syndrome.
Nice. Very nice. All right, well, that's all I personally have about Chuck. Rest in peace. I'm going to try to get some more Chuck quotes for future episodes. Is there anything else you needed to speak on about Mr. Norris?
Well, so he was out of Oklahoma, which is the state just north of us. He joined the Air Force, and his name Carlos Ray. He got his nickname Chuck because his drill instructor spoke Spanish and was like, you know what Carlos is? It's Chuck. So I'll just call you Chuck. And that stuck this whole time.
Wait, so was Chuck Norris a Spanish speaker?
No, they gave him Carlos.
Oh, okay. That would have been a plot twist.
Yeah, I mean, he may have.
He might have, yeah. Spent enough time in Texas and Oklahoma. Pick up some.
Yeah. But then some of his movies that I enjoyed as a kid growing up, and still to this day, Sidekicks is one of them. Silent Rage, Lone Wolf McQuade, definitely for sure. The Delta Force, that's a good one. That's also in 4K now. You remember Invasion USA?
You know what? I don't.
Where you've seen Red Dawn?
Yeah.
Kind of the same situation. We're being attacked by another country.
Okay.
And I think, was it Cuba? I think it's Cuba. But he goes lone wolf and he just starts taking them out. He goes through a mall and takes them out, everything. So many good movies. But yeah, sad to lose him. It was a rough day finding that out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it hit a lot of people.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, folks. We have a handful of episodes that are planned already, scripted, ready to record. Hellboy, Nostalgia Nights, Mount Rushmore of actors. I would venture to say, Dave, if you did a poll with 100,000 random action film fans, particularly of a certain age, there's no way Chuck Norris isn't on the majority of their action film star Mount Rushmores. I mean, he's a legend for a lot of reasons, but objectively, statistically, every way you measure it, he's just one of the great ones.
Yeah. Even though he had a rough start.
Yeah.
Like none of his movies actually did very well, box office wise. And it's almost like he couldn't catch a break, but all those movies are, to me, iconic and great.
Yeah, but I think, and you are far and away, I would say, a bigger movie buff than me, all told. I think we both can agree, especially because I think the first episode we ever recorded on the show was Boondock Saints. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Boondock Saints, right? That just goes to show you, not every movie that's great does well commercially, but it's still loved. He's one of those who pumped out. I mean, I did a quick Google before we started recording. I recognized no less than like 20 of his films. And that's as someone who hadn't even watched a vast majority of his film catalog. For someone like yourself who's a huge action fan, you probably recognize a vast majority of those.
I own all of those on at least DVD.
That's what I'm saying. All the Daves out there, yeah, yourself included, you, Dave, but all the Daves out there who are massive film and action films, yeah, film fans, this would have been a hell of a loss.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. That's what editing's for. I would add that I hope we see more like him, people who are more openly virtuous, more openly strong in their convictions about the way they live their life and the type of image they want to put out into the world. Because in this modern age of internet and social media, there's people out there who are content creators and not trying to trash anyone. They're just doing it all for the money and the clicks and forget the morality, forget the ethics of it all. They just put out content to increase their own star. And that wasn't Chuck. You know what I mean? Like, I think we need more people in Hollywood like Chuck, not less.
And so he learned martial arts when he was in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. And then when he came over, he started his schools and everything. And that was just supposed to be a pass by until he started performing in movies. Mm-hmm. But he had a program for kids to keep them out of trouble. He would teach them martial arts for free. And he would donate to it, and he donated to all kinds of things. But that was a pretty good program. I mean, there was a lot of kids that were gangs and stuff like that, but they could go and learn martial arts, and it didn't cost them anything. He financed all of that and supported all of that. I can't remember the name of the program, but that was a pretty good deal. And
he put the effort in.
As far as the one show everybody knows, Walker, Texas Ranger, that's probably where a lot of people our age really got to know him, because like you watched it with your dad, I watched it with my grandparents.
Nice.
That ritual, that one day a week, we got to watch Walker. What's going to happen with Walker tonight?
Yeah.
So I grew up, that whole, I think it was like 10 years that show was on. And I grew up most of those years watching it every week with my grandparents.
Dave, help me remember. What was the other popular show? I might have been David Carradine, about the wandering monk.
Oh, David Carradine.
Yeah. What was that? Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. Between Kung Fu: The Legend Continues and Walker, Texas Ranger, those shows being syndicated, as many episodes they each had, I feel like there was a long period of my life where one of those shows was always on.
Right, and Kung Fu is actually a Bruce Lee project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he wanted to be the one to star in it. And tying that with Chuck, of course, that's Chuck got his fame and film.
Yeah, what did we decide that was? Way of the Dragon?
Way of the Dragon, Return of the Dragon.
One of those, yeah.
Fighting in the Coliseum. So we'll have a Bruce Lee episode coming up sometime this season.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll hit more on that.
Yeah, and to tie him back to Bruce Lee too, there's a lot of people if you do that, you've done the research, I know you have, but there's a lot of people who play these type of characters in movies who don't have a legitimate fighting background or are not legitimate martial artists outside of training for their roles. He was a legitimate kickboxing champion, the way Bruce Lee was a legitimately trained martial artist, the way a lot of people like your Michael Jai White, and there's another guy that's in my mind. Oh, Wesley Snipes. Like people who are legitimately trained, have belts, have certifications, have an actual background in these things, and they brought that legitimacy to their craft. They didn't create it in service of their craft. It was already there. Like they already had the skills, and that's always gonna be cool to me when you see someone make that type of transition.
And they used to train. Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, they would train together and share thoughts back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But in that movie, Chuck was like, so you want to show the whole world that you defeat the world champion? He was like, I don't want to defeat him. I want to kill him. What's funny is apparently he had gained weight. They told him to gain weight for the role, and he gained too much weight. So he couldn't do as much of the jump kicks and stuff that he wanted to because he'd put in extra weight.
He seemed like he was in pretty damn good shape for that movie.
Yeah, he was still in good shape, yeah.
But
I mean, he said he gained 20 pounds of fat. I really couldn't see it, but
I don't know where. I don't know where. But I guess to your point, though, when I think about all the films he was ever in, he was always sort of a fit guy. Not like jacked, but he was fit. So I guess that he did seem bigger there than other films in the future.
yeah, he's very toned, for sure. Probably Delta Force 2 would have been the one where he would show off the most.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense because that was the era of films where it seems like all the action stars were on steroids. Like, it kind of came with the
and they
job.
all had to have their shirt off.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that Delta Force 2 may be the only one he did that.
Yeah.
Like, and fought the bad guy that way. Like, Lone Wolf McQuaid, he had the little vest on. And then
he was a tank top guy. I remember, but he's a tank top guy.
The other movies would just be like he'd be getting out of bed and putting on a shirt or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got on Chuck.
Yeah. Sad that he's no longer here. He actually just had a movie come out.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he plays, I have not watched it yet, but he plays some kind of a robot that's trained
Oh, okay.
for the military.
Is he voicing this character or is it?
No, he plays the character.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's called Agent Recon.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't know he was even still working. Outside of, quick little appearances here, a la Expendables.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how much he actually does. It's supposed to be a martial arts style movie, though. And I haven't even heard anything about if it's any good or not.
Oh, fair enough.
Apparently, he's got another movie that he did, and it's releasing November of this year. It's an action comedy called Zombie Plane.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
And I guess that'll be his sort of quote unquote official send off from films.
If he got to finish that.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
You want to talk about TMNT too?
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I almost shut it down early. We watched TMNT too. And it was a hell of an experience getting to see that in theaters.
It was, and it said it was remastered in 4K. I say nay.
I would agree.
That was not.
No.
That was not remastered in any other sense. The first one we saw was.
Yes.
That was very noticeable.
It looked good. It didn't look as good as the first one looked. That's for damn sure.
I think it looked the same as I've seen it on DVD.
Fair enough.
VHS. It looked kind of washed out.
So right off the bat, did you have any initial thoughts walking out of that film? Did it, because when we go and revisit things, nostalgic things, sometimes it changes our perspective, or it breaks this veil that we've kind of romanticized about it. Because I told you coming out of the theater, I'll go and share mine, is that if you had asked me prior to us watching both of those in theaters, and whoever made the decision to bring it back to theaters, thank you, because that was still enjoyable. I loved having that experience. But if you were to ask me prior to us going watching those films, about a year apart?
No, not even that.
Not even that, right? 6 months, 8 months?
Yeah, maybe 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. Prior to that, I would have told you, Dave, I was more nostalgic for the first one, but I enjoyed the second one more. Having watched them both, I can say with absolute confidence, I am more nostalgic for the first one, and I also enjoy the first one more. The second one's good. There's, it's certainly not garbage like the third one, but it's not to the level of roundness and cinematography and acting and storytelling, all those things that the first one is. It's fun. Definitely went more of a popcorn flick type turn on this. Super Shredder makes an appearance for like a minute. Thank you, Kevin Nash. I thought then, and I thought now, Token and Razor were lame. There's so many characters, Dave, in the wider TMNT universe they could have chosen, and they made some shit up. I don't understand that. I liked our pizza delivery guy,
Kino.
I like Kino. I liked it overall. I hate that they changed the actress for April, because the first one was awesome. First April was awesome. I wish I had Casey Jones. I liked Casey Jones in the first one. I thought his relationship dynamic with Raph was gold. Absolute gold. I enjoyed the foot, the way they used the foot. Cool. The second in command, he didn't get much to do in the first movie. He didn't get much to do in this movie either. Tatsu. Poor guy. He should have been given more screen time, if you ask me. Shredder. Credit to the actor. He's very imposing when he's on screen. Very, you know what I mean? Like, just, he's a scary dude. Splinter was Splinter. Again, the whole thing was good. Vanilla Ice making an appearance.
He got pretty good screen time.
Oh, yeah.
So the Tatsu, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So there's a lot of good things I like about it. I'm just being honest. It's not the first one to me, but it's still, I'm happy they brought it back to theaters. I hope they continue this trend with re-releasing some of these classic flicks. But that is the one realization I came away with immediately.
Yeah, and I always preferred the first one over the second one. But when the second one came out, the hype that was behind it, because we had already seen the first one, and you had the TV show. So now the second one's out. I think that's why you enjoyed it so much more and thought that was your favorite one growing up, because that was the bigger deal.
Yeah.
And after finding out things like they wouldn't let them use their weapons. That's why they used everything else but their weapons. Like Donnie used his staff, but
right.
Mike had to use the sausage nunchuck things, not his real ones. And the little plastic fire extinguisher thing, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Knowing all of that kind of thing going on, the movie wasn't as special anymore as it was when I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still see it again. But yeah, definitely the first one, that's my top one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. We've seen a similar transition, Dave, during that same era with the Batman flicks, right? Batman 89, very dark, grimy. Batman 2, slightly less so, but still in that same tone. And then you get Batman 3 and 4 and beyond, and all of a sudden it's like a giant toy commercial. And I feel like that's kind of a similar thing we've seen going from TMNT, which was very dark in tone, which, folks, their base comics were as well.
Yeah, well, most of the first one was based off several different comics.
Yeah. The second one, it was they were definitely going for more of a commercial appeal. And I don't care what anyone says, not letting them use their weapons is lame.
Yeah.
It is absolutely lame. Did we even see Raph's size the entire damn movie?
No, I don't think so.
Like, come on.
No, he pulled it out to catch the pizza.
Ah, right. Well, it's a pizza catcher.
We got to use our weapons for pizza.
You know what? I think Leo pulled his swords out to cut the pizza.
That was the first one.
I was first. No, you're right. Didn't do it then either. That's lame. I don't know how to say that's lame.
Yeah, but you'd have never noticed if I hadn't told you.
Fair point. Fair point. No, that's a fair point.
I mean, they have enough going on, I guess, to distract you away from noticing that. Like Leo does, he doesn't use his swords, but he uses the guards that you put the sword in, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That or it was a couple of sticks. I can't remember which one.
So and I point something out. It's not that I need my turtles to be violent, right? But there's a scene in the first one, in the final rooftop battle, where they're all trying to defeat Shredder, right? And Leo, my guy, gets that one shot off with his katana and slices Shredder's arm. Now, Shredder's a hell of a fighter. You got to have a lot of skill to even touch the guy. Leo successfully does that. But like, that's a scene that'll always stick out to me in my brain when I think about the TMNT movies. Without him able to use his katanas, arguably the deadliest of the weapons amongst all four of the Turtles' weapons, you kind of take away from him a little bit. Because he's not doing that to anyone.
Yeah, he'd take away from all of them when they can't use their weapons.
Yeah. I don't know. Hell, even in the first one, there was like a chuck off between Mikey and one of the foot soldiers.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I would have been okay with another one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just heard, I think the last Ronin movie that they were going to do got canceled.
That's a shame.
They didn't want the R rating, I guess, on a turtle movie. So they're talking about rebooting the whole series again.
Yeah, I mean, commercially, that'd probably be more viable. I would have liked to see what they did with it. I'm looking at the last Ronin graphic novel up there in the corner. It's violent. It's very violent. Like when he's reminiscing on how his brothers died. I mean, it was a blaze of glory, but it was violent. Like, yeah, have you read the stories?
I have not.
Okay, yeah. So I won't spoil it for you, but
well, I know who the Ronin is, but
right. But I mean, as far as like how the brothers died.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I haven't. There's a set of all the stories in one book, and I have that in my Amazon cart. So
yeah,
hoping to get that sometime soon.
For the record, Raphael goes out like a G.
Yeah, probably fighting to the last breath.
Yes, he goes out like a G. He takes someone big out with him. So, which is what you'd expect from him.
Yeah, that's his style.
Yeah. Now the reason, by the way, I don't like that the turtles died in the story, but the thing that I really loved about the last Ronin story is they established one distinctly different thing in the lore, which is the turtles we know are teenagers, which means they're not full grown. What they establish in the last Ronin storyline is they weren't done growing. They weren't done mutating. So the turtle in the last Ronin is physically much bigger than the turtles of the traditional lore because he got bigger. He got full grown.
So more like the size of the Michael Bay version.
Yeah. Like he's big. He's strong. He can be a brute if he needs to. He doesn't need to, obviously. He's trained to be a ninja. But he's more dangerous as his grown self than he was as his teenage self, as most of us are, I would imagine. But like he's a one-man army because of it. I mean, my God, if there were 4 turtles, they were all that size, fully grown, it'd give anyone headaches.
Well, they're supposed to be making a game of it, so hopefully that'd do that right.
That would be a lot of fun.
But I don't know, Gene. Like I love the '80s turtle cartoon. Like I'll always love that. But I want my turtles violent.
Define violent.
Let's go with Deadpool style violence.
That's I would be down for that. No movie studio is going to put the money into it though, because they want to sell action figures.
I know my son loves Deadpool. He'll take all the action figures you can get him.
Fair enough. I guess it would depend, right? Are they killing foot soldiers, or are they like, running Bebop through? You know?
Both.
I mean, I'm down. Again, I would watch it. I'm the audience vet. I'm with you.
Both. Even if you had the foot soldiers be robots to cut down on the actual violence and have it be a machine.
Oh, tear them apart. Absolutely tear them apart.
Yeah, in the 80s cartoon, like you had humans, but was there mechanical ones too at some point?
I'm almost certain there was. Especially when we got into the brain guy, Krang.
Yeah, I know there were robots.
The Mausers and all that.
In the 2000s, like the 2010s Turtles. I know there were robots there. Yeah, I want my turtles to be violent. They were in the comics.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm with you. Go straight to the source material.
Yeah. Keep it dark. Keep it violent. I'd even be okay with having them all same color bands, all red. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Let's do an old style violent turtle movie.
I'm good with it.
And I'm sure a lot of people would. It would be everybody our age going to see it.
Let's be real. If they go and reboot it in a quote unquote commercially viable way, there's a good chance we end up getting a Michael Bay type situation, and it's just a middling effort.
I think the reboot is going to be more like the past animated ones they just did. You know, where the turtles look weak and puny.
Yeah, I don't want that.
And not so much teen, more tween.
Tween, yeah. No, don't do that. Yeah.
I don't know. That might be the way they go. I hope not.
Hope not.
So we covered Chuck, we covered Turtles, some future episodes looking forward to.
Yes.
Starting off season 2. Hopefully we sound better this time coming around.
We learned some things in our first season. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to be very transparent. When you when you listen to some of our episodes, like many podcasters, many content creators, we don't necessarily drop in the order that we record. But if we did drop them in the order we record, which we didn't, you would notice a very significant increase in audio quality from beginning to end, because literally inside the same season, we transition from condenser mics to dynamic, and we have a soundboard that we're using to do this properly, and we're controlling our noise gate and paying attention to our sound floors. Like, we're trying to deliver the highest quality product possible while still being impassioned about it. So it's been a journey. There's been so many things that were done wrong. Just didn't know any better. We had to learn and grow and evolve, but it's been fun.
It's been an experience. Still learning and growing.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Each season should hopefully get better and better at this point, but
yeah,
you got to start somewhere.
Hell yeah. And I'm glad we did, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, shut her down.
I'm good with it.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're at the very opening of season 2. We got some more episodes coming, and, tune in. We want to keep this thing going. We want to hear from you. We enjoy this. We want to know what you enjoyed about it, like about it, dislike about it, whatever the case may be. So thank you. Listen to us everywhere podcasts are, including YouTube and beyond. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Welcome back.